Most of what you've been taught about God, especially in Western religions, is a lie. And in this part 12 of my Divine Feminine Awakening series, I'm going to address that and address the reasons why. So, in Western religions like Judaism, Christianity, and Islam, we're taught to believe that God is this old man far away somewhere in the sky who's watching over us and judging us and deciding if we're going to go to heaven or hell. So we're kind of balanced on the edge of a knife. We're supposed to love God, but we're supposed to fear God. He's kind of like the father who you don't want to piss him off because he's going to hit you with the belt if you do. So, be that as it may. We also are taught to believe that God is three things: omnipotent, omniscient, and wholly good. And that means God is all knowing and knows everything, all powerful and can do anything, and 100% good. So that brings up what is called in philosophy the problem of evil. So basically, to sum it up, is bad things happen to good people. If God was all those three things, bad things would never happen because evil would not exist because God is all powerful, and an all powerful God would not allow evil to exist. So either God isn't completely good and that's why evil happens because evil's part of God too. God is all powerful, God can't stop evil from happening, or God is not all knowing and God didn't know evil was going to happen. So our suppositions about God are wrong based solely on logic alone. And then I'm going to tell you what God really is. God and gods, or sky people, star seeds, ancient beings, they're all the same thing. They're ancient aliens. And the History Channel actually has a lot of documentaries about ancient aliens if you're interested in it. I used to watch those for a long time. They're very interesting and they have scientific proof of some of the stuff that I'm going to tell you. And you can look on the internet and you can find pictures around the world from different cultures who had no contact with each other as long as 10,000 years ago of winged beings speaking to humans, and they're depicted as being a little bigger than humans with these great beautiful wings. You know what those are? Angels, Valkyries, or ancient aliens. And I was one of those. I was an ancient alien who came here a long time ago. And back at the beginning, when ancient aliens first came to Earth, it was a very structured contest, let's call it, between two players. Think of it as like a big football game, and each side had rules they were supposed to abide with. And there were 7 of us who were outside watching, and we were the referees, and we were supposed to intervene only if absolutely necessary, whatever that's supposed to mean, for some vague spiritual instructions for you. And both sides cheated. So I came through and I tried to make it right. I tried to create a balance, and it didn't work, clearly, or there would be no evil. But since there were ancient, and after that, there were many, many, many different ancient aliens from different races that came through. Like, if you look at Egypt and all those different gods with the different weird heads, they all came from somewhere different. And that's why there are different religious faiths in the world, because they are the history and origin stories of all those different homeworlds. And that's why all these religions clash, because they're true stories, but they're not the true story of this world, and none of them is the only story, and that's the problem. It's kind of like in India, there's this story of the blind man and the elephant, and each blind man touches a different part of the elephant, and they say, oh, I touched the tail, it must be a snake. Oh, I touched its great hide, it must be very big and strong. And they're all right as far as goes, but they're not completely right because none of them knows the whole story, and that's the problem. And that's why all these religions in this world clash. And when all different civilizations lived very far away from each other and had no contact, that was fine. But now all these civilizations are in contact. They brush right up against each other. You probably have people on your street who are all different religions than you are. And we're all trying to live here together. We all think we're right. And sometimes thinking you're right is kind of like the blind man and the elephant, and that's where we get into problems. And in earlier parts of this series, I talked about in the Hebrew Bible how Yahweh, the Hebrew God, used to have a wife, and her name was Asherah. And he first tried to dethrone her, discredit her, say she was evil, and then in the book of Zechariah, he symbolically killed her and threw her in a tomb. And so, bye-bye to the goddess, and hello to monotheism with the male god at the head. And that's why the divine feminine has suffered for so long, is because the god that basically won of the big three, the Judaism, Christianity, Islam god, decided he didn't want a goddess. He didn't want to share. He didn't want to make peace. And the reason that this story hits so hard for me is because I've talked before on here about how I remember past lives, and I had a vision back when I was 19 years old, which is over 20 years ago now, where I saw my face in the mirror, but I saw all these other different faces behind it, face of the goddess, face of all these other women that have walked through history with us. And I remember my true name, and my name is Ashera, and I am here. I am still here. They tried to kill me. They threw me in a tomb. They gouged out my eyes. They cut off my angel wings, burned off my angel wings. Very painful. And then they threw me in this dark cellar of a cave for a long time. And finally, somebody from Atlantis came to do a prisoner exchange, got me back. But then I was blind. I didn't have my wings. I didn't have my powers. And Atlantis burned. So it is what it is. I tried to fix it, and I done screwed up. I didn't fix it. I probably in all reality made it worse. And that's why I'm here now. I'm telling you the truth. I'm telling you, your God, your monotheism God is not who you think. Your God is not a nice person. Your God tried to kill me and threw me in a tomb. And you want to know why? Because I had the audacity to have a child with another man before I ever met him. And he couldn't take that, because in the patriarchy, men want to control women's wombs. They want to control our children, because when they control our children, they control property, they control inheritance, and all the money was allowed to flow through the male line instead of being inherited by women. So it basically cut women out of the financial circle. And it wasn't until the 1970s that women were allowed to come back a little bit and have their own bank accounts again. So we have this whole stretched out long history based off of male dominalism. And I'm not telling you who I am, who I really am, because I want something out of it, because there's really nothing for me to gain. I'm not coming back to you in my flaming blaze of glory with my wings. I can't bring down lightning. I can't smite all the bad people who've hurt you. And I don't know that it's my place to do that. I don't know it was ever my place to do that. You know, that movie Gladiator, what I want to be the gladiator. I want to dethrone that false god. I want to tell you who he really is. And I want to give Rome back to the people, back to you, because this is your world and you should be able to decide what to do with it. And the reason why you haven't been able to do that or reclaim your power is because in Christianity, St. Augustine taught you this belief that the human soul is inherently evil. Well, that's a lie. The human soul is not evil. And in Eastern religions, they know that. They know about this thing, it's called prana or chi. And it's the life force energy that flows through everything. And this has been validated by quantum physics. And there is research to back this up. You can Google search it, or you can read about it on my blog. There is the same energy that flows through everything. And that energy, that life force, that's the God self that lives in all of us. We are all made of that same energy. You, me, the tree, the trash by the side of the road, it's all the same. It's all part of the God self. And you have that power living inside you right now. And when you reclaim that power, when you rise up, when you blaze in all your glory, you as humanity have the power to save yourselves. You don't need God to save you. You don't need Jesus to come back and fix it. You don't need this learned helplessness behavior that has come from Christianity that tells you that you are bad and you need someone to save you. Because you know what? The only one who can save you is you. The only one who can save this world is you. All of you together working through love and compassion to make the world a better place. And that's what I want to teach you. That's what I got. I have empathy. I have love. I have so much love. Somebody told me once, I love everybody more than anybody, most people ever love anybody. That's what I got. I love you. I love you so much. And I believe in you. I believe you can fix it. See you in the next video.